Okay. Chapter 45. The dragon waited. Mornings rose, nights fell, but he did not move from the bridge. Every night the stars filled the sky like snowflakes falling on black stone, and then melted away as the sun mounted. When the sun rose, the red strings of the bridge melted into the sky, and the bridge seemed to disappear, only showing itself again at night. A stinging wind blew in a silver mist, and the cold rock was hard and unyielding, but still the dragon waited. But on the third night, just as the moon began to slip down in the sky, Dragon saw a faint figure on the bridge. With a joyous roar, the dragon jumped up and the figure became clearer and clearer. Minley! You are back, Dragon shouted. Did you see him? Did you ask the old man of the moon my question? Yes, Minley laughed as she hugged the dragon. I asked him, and he answered. So now I know. I know how you can fly. How? Dragon asked. Minley climbed onto Dragon's back. With both hands, she clenched the stone ball above his head. Take a deep breath, she said to him. And with a jerk that took all of her strength, she yanked the ball off of his head. Ouch! Dragon yelped. But then he began to smile. I feel so light, he said. So light and peaceful. The old man of the moon said you would not be able to fly until the ball was removed from your head, Minley told him. He said it was weighing you down. Huh, it was, Dragon laughed, and Minley clutched his neck with her spare arm as he rose into the air. The wind seemed to join their whoop of laughter and sweep them up, up, up into the sky as Dragon flew for the very first time. The silver clouds embraced them and then parted as the dragon flew through, as if he were rippling the sky. The pale moon looked as if it were smiling at them with a soft glow. As they skimmed the stars, Minley closed her eyes with delight. As they returned to the ground, the dragon asked, What about you? Did the old man tell you how to change your fortune? Minley was silent. Dragon turned to look at her. What happened? He asked. He didn't tell you? Well, I didn't ask, Minley said. I was only allowed to ask one question. What? The dragon said. You need to know. You can't come all this way. We will fly back and you can ask him. But before Minley could utter a protest, the red cord bridge seemed to shriek, and as they turned to look at it, the bamboo stakes began to rip the ground, leaving ugly slashes as the bridge was dragged away from the land. The bridge jerked violently, the bamboo supports clattering as it was pulled up into the darkness. The old man of the moon will not see me again, Minley said. He won't answer any question for another 99 years. But you, the dragon sputtered, your fortune, your parents? It's all right, Minley told him. When it was time for me to choose, I suddenly saw I didn't have to ask it. You didn't? The dragon said. No, Minley said, and suddenly memories rushed through her. She heard the buffalo boy's laughter as he refused her money. She saw the king's generous smile as he willingly parted with his family's treasure. And she remembered Da'afu's last words to her. Why would we want to change our fortune? They had said. She had shaken her head in confusion then, but now, finally, Minley understood all of it. Fortune was not a house full of gold and jade, but something much more. Something she already had and didn't need to change. I didn't ask the question, Minley said again and smiled, because I don't need to know the answer. Chapter 46. The moon began to fade as the brightening sky revealed itself through it. The sun was awakening, and Minley wanted to return home as soon as possible. Dragon, having waited 3 days and 3 nights, was very well rested, so they decided to leave the never-ending mountain at once. As Dragon soared through the sky, any heaviness in Minley left. He seemed to dance in the air, and his happiness made her feel as light as the clouds around her. The sun seemed to warm her heart, and joy bubbled inside of her. She knew that she had asked the right question. You okay, William? Wrong pipe. Before they left, Minley and the dragon circled over the village of the moon rain. Da'afu, Ama, Agong, and the villagers saw them and ran out of their stone hut, flapping their ruined sleeves in greeting. Don't stop, Ama shouted with a broad smile. Go home! Minley nodded and waved goodbye until the flowering trees looked like brushstrokes of golden paint on the mountain. Flying on the dragon made traveling much faster. It seemed as if in no time they were above the city of bright moonlight. From the sky, the inner city and outer city, they looked like a giant labyrinth. And the 2 stone guardians looked as if they were dog trinkets molded from clay. Minley saw the roof of the Buffalo Boy's broken down hut, but no glimpse of him. He's probably inside sleeping, Minley thought, wondering if the goddess of weaving had visited the previous night. But as they passed the bay of water by the city, Minley saw something strange, like an orange shadow streaking across the sky. Dragon saw it too and slowed down. As it got closer, there was no mistaking it. It was another dragon. The dragon was orange, the color of the inside of a ripe mango. When she saw Minley and Dragon, a coquettish smile spread across her face. Hello, Dragon breathed in an odd voice. Minley looked at him in surprise. But the orange dragon kept flying without saying a word. As she passed, she winked at them. Dragon balanced in midair as if stunned. He watched the orange dragon sweep down and away to the water below until she was just a ginger speck in the distance. Are you okay? Minley asked the dragon as he continued to stare. You must be excited that you've finally seen another dragon? I am, Dragon said, as if in a daze. Then he shook himself, as if trying to rouse himself awake. But I'll find her again later. I gotta get you home first. Minley shrugged. Dragon was acting oddly, but there was something familiar about that orange dragon. Perhaps the way her scales reflected in the sun, like fish scales glistening in the water, and those knowledgeable eyes nodding as if she knew her. Minley smiled. Hours passed, and the land below them blurred. Minley slept on and off. The smooth ride of the flying dragon made it really easy for her to sleep. Minley was impressed by how far they had journeyed and how much faster they were able to travel by flying. The sun was only beginning to go down past the horizon when they saw the edge of the peach forest. The tops of the peach trees seemed to sway a welcome to them as they flew overhead, and they continued to fly. As they flew, Minley thought she saw the monkeys still attached by the fishnet around the pot of rice. But Dragon was still acting strangely. When Fruitless Mountain, with its familiar black peak cutting into the pink and orange sunset sky, came into view, the dragon almost stopped flying. "What mountain is that?" he asked Minley. "Oh, it's Fruitless Mountain," Minley told him. "Right beyond it, next to the Jade River. That's my home." "Fruitless Mountain," he said to himself. And even though he continued to fly, he seemed to be in a daze. Minley wondered if flying had somehow made him lightheaded, but her attention could not be kept by her concern for him. Night was falling, and the dark lines of Fruitless Mountain softened in the shadowy sky. But Minley could still see that every moment brought the Jade River and Fruitless Mountain closer. She was almost home. However, when they reached the Fruitless Mountain, Dragon suddenly stopped. He dropped lightly to the base of Fruitless Mountain, where so long ago Minley had taken some stone to make her compass. "This is Fruitless Mountain," Dragon said. And again, Minley looked at him. He was definitely acting weird. "Yes," Minley said, a bit puzzled. "My village is just a bit past this. I can walk from here if you wish." "Do you mind?" Dragon asked. "For some reason, I feel as if I do not want to leave here." "No, I don't mind," Minley said. "But are you okay?" The dragon looked at her and smiled. "Yeah," Dragon said. "Strangely, I feel like I'm home." Minley wrinkled her forehead in confusion, but was too eager to get home to her parents to ask any more questions. So Minley hugged Dragon goodbye. He returned her hug warmly, but she could tell he was distracted. She held out the round ball she had taken from Dragon's head. "Do you want this?" "No." Dragon glanced at it absent-mindedly. "You can have it." Minley shrugged again, but the urge to go home began to pull at her really strongly. She waved goodbye to Dragon and began to run toward the village. It was late at night when she finally reached home. The slumbering village was silent, and as Minley crept into her home, the pale goldfish greeted her. "Shh," the goldfish said to her. "Your parents are sleeping. Welcome home." Minley was a little surprised to see a goldfish, but smiled a greeting. Moonlight misted over the rough floors and made the sparse room grow silver, the goldfish bowl looking like a second moon. The shabby walls and worn stones seemed to shimmer as if a translucent silk veil covered them, muting any flaws and transforming the house into a dwelling of luminous light and delicate shadows. Minley had never seen her home look so beautiful. Tiptoeing, she put her bag and the dragon's stone on the table and went into her room. Smiling, she climbed into her bed and went to sleep. And that's where we stop for today.